Welcome back to Fashion Tips. Today I want to talk about Mercedes rookie driver for 2025 F1 season, Andrea Kimi Antonelli. So for Antonelli, a lot of hype around this young driver. Of course, been a part of the Mercedes Young Driver Academy for a very, very long time, since 2019. So again, he's been part of the Mercedes family, and I think for quite a few years now. I say 3 to 4 years. He's been hyped up as a driver who's very likely to end up in F1 one day, and that's something that with Lewis Hamilton's shock decision to move to Ferrari last year, it paved the way for him. Plus, a reasonably good season F2 paved the way for him to basically earn a promotion directly to Mercedes for the 2025 F1 season. So today I want to talk a bit about Antonelli and his junior career, his road to F1, if you will, and just kind of give my thoughts on perhaps what to expect in his first season in F1. So he's from Italy. His hometown is Bologna. He'll be 18 years of age for the first race of the season, so he'll be the youngest driver on the grid. And I believe last time we had an 18-year-old in F1 would have been Lance Stroll in 2017. So it's been a very, very long time since we've had an 18-year-old in F1. But again, I think it shows how much promise and exactly how much talent he has. Last year, he drove in Formula 2, and this coming year, he'll be, like I said, driving for Mercedes. Of course, his full name, Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Yes, the Kimi is for Kimi Räikkönen. He seems to prefer to go by Kimi Antonelli, so that's how I'm going to refer to him for the remainder of this video. So, I'm not gonna talk about his karting career just because on one hand, it's a bit too long ago now. I think it's a lot less relevant for F1, and also because I just don't know enough about the karting international karting scene. So we're gonna start with 2022, his first full season in single seaters. Now, of course, 2021, shortly after his 15th birthday, he did actually do a partial season of Italian F4. Started off pretty well, and by the end looked like one of the strongest drivers in this series. And given that he was only 15, driving against competitors who are 2, 3, 4, perhaps 4, 5+ years older than him, very, very impressive results. And so expectations were very, very high for 2022, which was his first full season in single seaters. So double campaign, Italian F4 as well as German F4, both series driving for Prema. So of course, won both championships as a full-time rookie. His teammates in Italian F3, in Italian F4 that year finished 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 11th. So again, Prema, one of the strongest teams, and looking at how his teammates did, definitely makes sense there. German F4, it was a bit of a mixed bag. He had quite a few teammates, and only one of them actually did the same number of races that he did. So that's the one I put on here. That was a 5th place by James Wharton. But for that 2022 Italian F4 season, 362 points, 13 wins out of 20 races, 15 podiums out of 20, and 14 pole positions out of 20 races. So just absolute domination across the board there. In the German F4, perhaps a little bit less dominant, but again, he did miss one round, so he did miss 1/6 of the season there. So again, the results are going to be a little bit skewed. 313 points, 9 wins out of 18, but really, he only competed in 15 races, 12 podiums out of 18, and then 7 poles out of 12. So absolutely excellent results. Historical levels of success at the F4 level, especially compared when you think about this was the fact that he was basically 15 years of age for most of the season. Definitely shows how strong of a driver he was at that age. So 2023 does 2 different series. He does Formula Regional Middle East, and then he also does Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, also known as FRECA. Again, there were some thoughts that he would make the step up directly to International Formula 3. Decided not to do that, decided to go with the FRECA route. And I do think, given how things went, perhaps it was the better move, perhaps not. Again, at the end of the day, it's only really with hindsight that you can say one way or another which of the two paths would have been a bit better. But first part of the season, Formula Regional Middle East, the Winter Series starts in January. I think the first race for this year is in a week's time, and it basically goes all the way until the end of February. Driving for the Mumbai Falcons, who are the strongest team in the series. He, of course, won that series while his teammates, Rafael Camara, finishes third, 131 points, and his other teammate, Lorenzo Fluxa, fourth, 122 points. So just almost double the points of his two teammates, and he won that championship with 192 points, 40 points clear of Taylor Barnard in second. 3 wins out of 15 races, 7 podiums out of 15, and 3 pole positions out of 10. Again, not as dominant as his F4 campaigns, but given that this is his first time in Formula Regional F3 machinery, and again, he was still 16 years of age, still very impressive. Then, for the main portion of the calendar year, driving in Freca, again with driving with Prema, won the championship, while his teammates Camara and Fluxa, same teammates as Formula Regional Middle East, finished 5th with 173 points and 7th with 88 points. While Antonelli himself finished with 300 points, so almost double Camara's total and over triple Fluxa's total. And he won that championship with 39-point buffer over Martinius Stenshorn. 5 wins out of 20 races, 11 podiums out of 20, and 4 pole positions out of 20 races. So again, between his 2 Formula Regional campaigns, very, very solid, won both by pretty big margins. Again, as a 16/17-year-old season, very, very impressive. And again, the next natural step after that campaign would have been Formula 3, but I think a bit of a surprise, Mercedes decided that, this guy can go up directly to Formula 2, skipping that Freca route. And really the last driver to do that was Gianluca Pedikov, another driver for the Ferrari Driver Academy, who attempted that, I believe, 2020, 2021, won Formula Regional, same as Antonelli, and decided to go straight up to F2. Unfortunately, didn't quite have the funding, drove for a backmarker team for about half a season, and then basically after that kind of really fell off the map in terms of, international single seaters. But it was decided Antonelli was going to do F2, skipping F3 entirely, seen as a bit of a risky move at the time. And again, I think the rationale was with new regulations for Formula 2, it would even the playing field a little bit and make it so that rookies had a little bit less of a disadvantage. Now, that F2 season, this past season, 2024, driving for Prema, finishes 6th in the championship, so the only basically single-seater series that he didn't win from 2022 all the way up till now. Won Italian German F4, won Formula Regional Middle East, won Formula Regional European Championship, except, doesn't win Formula 2. So finishes 6th, 113 points. His teammate Oliver Behrman finishes in 11th with 74 points. So again, did beat his teammate Oliver Behrman, and of course Behrman is another driver who is graduating from F2, moving up to F1 for this year. And Behrman finished 5th in his rookie season, so again, he was seen as one of the title favorites for 2024. Didn't really happen, and again, there's a lot of question marks about why exactly that is. And I think at this point in time, it's hard to tell. I think with hindsight, we'll have a better idea of which of the two it is. But currently, the general understanding is that Prema didn't really understand the new F2 regulations. Really struggled with setting the car up into the optimal window. And again, with how their F2 is a mechachrome lottery in the sense that the engines are equal and there's not really any way to control it, it's possible both drivers had very weak engines as well. And I think it's something that we'll only be able to really get a better grasp of with time. But in this past season, one sprint race win. So again, 28 races total, 14 sprint races, 14 feature races, 1 sprint race win, 1 feature race win, 2 podiums in sprint races, and only 1 podium in feature race. No pole positions as well, which again is a bit of a worrying sign, because generally qualifying pace in F2 does track somewhat to qualifying pace in F1. But average pole gap, if you're curious, over the course of the season, 0.365 seconds. That was 6th overall, so again matches his championship position. But he was the 3rd best rookie behind Paul Aron and behind Gabriel Bortoleto, who again fellow rookie in F1 this coming season. So again, for Antonelli driving for Mercedes this coming year, I think there's going to be a lot of pressure, of course, with the assumption that Mercedes will still be, they'll still be a front-running team. He'll have a very, very tough teammate in George Russell, and of course the fact that he is the driver replacing Lewis Hamilton, arguably the most decorated run of combination of driver and team together between Hamilton and Mercedes. I think obviously very, very big shoes to fill. Now, when you look, I think one of the curious trends when you look at Antonelli's junior career is that with each successive kind of step up towards F1, he's seemingly become less dominant. So F4 most dominant, and then F4 very, very dominant. Formula Regional still dominant, and then F2 looks okay, looks good. I think for a rookie, but I would say not absolutely stellar. And again, it's kind of the exact opposite of Gabriel Bortoleto, who had very, I would say, mediocre results in F4 and Formula Regional before having much stronger results in Formula 3 and Formula 2. So it's really interesting how one driver his results seem to get better the higher the level, the closer to F1 he got, and another the results seem to kind of plateau off a little bit or seem to get a little bit worse the closer to F1 he got. So it'll be really interesting to see and compare Antonelli and Bortoleto this coming season. Obviously they're likely going to be driving at polar ends of the grid, so they're not going to actually be directly racing each other that much, which will make comparison quite difficult. But that being said, I do think there's perhaps a little bit too much hype about Antonelli. He's still very, very young, and again, obviously there's been many who've been calling him the next Max Verstappen, and given where Max Verstappen is right now in terms of kind of the overall F1 pyramid level, I would say. Again, that's a very, very high bar for him to reach. So I think, he's a promising driver, one of the more promising drivers I think we've seen in the last, 5 to 10 years. Really interesting to see how it'll go with Mercedes this year. But I do think, again, like I said, there'll be a lot of pressure on him. I think we should just, see how things go. If he lives up to that pressure, if he's competitive with Russell right away, great. We can, raise that bar a little bit. If he struggles a bit, like many rookies do, then again, perhaps I think, it would be very reasonable to temper expectations as well. So there you go. There's my kind of look at Kimi Antonelli's junior career, taking a look at who he is as a driver, and just kind of, giving my thoughts on how his rookie season will do. I'll do, I think, a separate analysis closer to the season, looking at both Lawson and Antonelli, because they're obviously the two rookies. I know some, depending on where you look, some places Lawson's not a rookie, some places he is. In my books, it's his first full season, so he is a rookie. But I think for them, because they're likely going to be driving in front-running machinery, I'll do a special video just for the two of them as well. But that's all for this video, kind of looking at Antonelli's junior record, like I said. So thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.